Our company uses Monday.com to track progress on many of its projects. If you need to understand the basics of the site, visit the Monday.com topic in CelebWeb for resources on logging in and getting started in a board. This series of videos will focus on jumping in and working on an existing board, which is what most new users at our company will experience. Before jumping in, you're going to take just a moment to create a board that is safe to experiment with. Make sure you are in the main workspace. Navigate to the item that says Training Board, Projects. Select the ellipses next to the board's name. Select Duplicate Board. From the drop-down, make sure you select Structure, Items, and Updates. This will preserve the items in the board. Select Duplicate to create your own personal training board. At the bottom left and on the title at the top, you'll see Duplicative Training Board, Projects. That's how you know you've successfully created a new board. Pause the video and take a moment to confirm this. This is the board you'll use to walk through some practical examples in Monday. For the purposes of this video, you are role-playing a project manager. You are the owner of this board, and you're using it to manage the implementation of Software X. A quick note here. You may notice that you do not see the column in my recording that begins with Set Status. As the crossed-out eye icon shows, this is a hidden column that only I can see. Depending on your permissions, you can set certain columns to be hidden, or only allow specific users to edit them. Other than that column, you should see everything I see. For the first exercise, let's say another department is taking over responsibility for one of these items. You don't want to just delete the item from the board because you'll need to remember what happened to it in case someone asks. However, it doesn't really belong in any of the status categories. Your department isn't working on this item, nor is it stuck. Instead, you'll create a new status for an item that's been deferred to another department. Select the Status drop-down menu. At the bottom of this label, you'll see the option to add or edit labels. Click the dotted box, which says New Label. Type in the name of the new status here. Type Deferred. Select Apply. You can now choose to set an item as deferred. You should add details about who this item was deferred to and why. For that, you'll want to leave a comment. Click the comment icon to start a new conversation. Write your update here. You'll also want to delete this person from the item, since they are no longer in charge of its progress. Click on the cell with the person that needs to be deleted. A little X will show up next to their name. You can click to delete them. You may also notice that you'll see options to add other people or teams to this item, which of course you would want to do if your real team was actually on this project. This drop-down icon shows that the item contains sub-items. Sub-items are a way to break a task down into smaller milestones. Select this icon and change all the statuses to deferred as well, since your team is no longer managing these. Sub-items can have different columns and settings than their parent task. For instance, let's say you want to track the cost of the licenses for this software. It makes sense to track this in the sub-item, Obtain Licenses for Company. Take a moment to see if you can add an expenses column. You can add a new column into the sub-items section by clicking the plus icon. Since we want to track a dollar amount, we're going to select Numbers from our list of column options. Rename the Numbers column to Expenses. We want to auto-format this column so that it's shown as a dollar amount. Click the drop-down and select Column Settings, then select the dollar sign. Now you can track the expenses of these sub-items without taking up space in the task. You can also manage these dates and timelines by clicking on them. You can click on any timeline to edit it. When the calendars appear, your first click will register as the timeline's start date, and the second will be the end date. Even if you only need to move the date back by 1 day, you'll need to reselect the start date before selecting a new end date. Timelines are especially useful if you want to view this board in a different format. For instance, if you want to see the Gantt chart view, you can do so here. Monday.com will automatically formulate this table to be compatible with a Gantt chart. Now that you're acquainted with the board's features, you'll be learning how to automate them in the next video. Please move forward to basic automations now.